if you know a little bit about history, you realize that the funny news, they come up when the culture is swinging. When the pendulum is moving from the left to right, that's exactly when you get the most bizarre and crazy news ever. Because people don't know what to think anymore. People are a little bit confused. For instance, the support for Israel, right? Like, it was unequivocal on the left until you have the thing with Palestine. And then some people would get canceled because they would support Palestinians. And all of a sudden, like, they would find out that they're getting fired or out of a job. And it was hilarious. And it's the same thing that's happening now. During the peak of the MAGA conversation, where you have, like, journalists struggling, like, academics working tirelessly in order to tell the Americans, look, stop talking about the H-1B visas, right? Like, America covets, it needs a meritocratic system. Best person for the job. Their colleagues are sabotaging them. Like, their colleagues are working tirelessly in order to sabotage them. It's like, no, we don't need the best person for the job. We need birthright. Like, if you were born correctly, if you happen to be a woman, you deserve the role. We need to have percentages. Until we reach 50% percentages, we need to demand more. It doesn't matter the quality of the movie. It doesn't matter anything else. The people with the birthright aren't getting hired, and that is disastrous for Hollywood. So now you have, like, okay, but like, if you have a woman that has an H-1B visa, should she get hired over a woman in a wheelchair that's of African-American descent? See, like, this is what the academics are struggling to answer. The real tough questions. There should be an entire scientific field that just focuses to give humanity these answers. But still, you know, I like how insulting this shit is, right? Like this whole mentality is so fucking corporate. So fucking corporate, like reducing human beings to just like cogs in a machine. Like, you don't have women as individuals anymore. No, like, they're replaceable parts. Like, any woman can fit the role as long as she is born correctly, as long as she is a woman. Or she uses the Democrat magic to identify as a woman, and then she becomes, she transcends her very existence at the molecular level and becomes a woman and fills that percentage. She fills that quota, and then everyone understands that America becomes the best nation on earth, because that is how we judge a nation right now, based on percentages, how many people with the birthright have gotten into the positions of power, how many people with the H-1B visas have been imported, right? Like, this is what the politicians, the think tanks, the leaders are constantly concerned with. It's not how to improve the living standard of people. No. It's like the percentages, the jobs, the quotas. How can we manipulate the system? How can we social engineer what people think? And so you have like this absolutely batshit crazy thing. It's like women directed just 16%. What is the correct answer though? Like, what is the correct percentage and what does it matter? Like, do we not hire people that can do quality things anymore? Or like can you please take down your pants first so we can see what you have before we cast you as a director? And then you also have the interesting question. What happens if, like, the other people just identify as women tomorrow? So, like, every single Hollywood director, every single one, they identify as a woman. Now you have 100% director representation, right? This is beyond maddening. No other country in the world does this. Bollywood doesn't pull this shit. China doesn't pull this shit. Japan doesn't pull this shit. And the implication is obviously that it's sexism. There's no other explanation, right? Like, there's nothing else that can account for this. It's just that people in Hollywood are sexist. And this is like an acceptable question to have at the dinner table, but you need to be very careful because in America, the land of the free, there are some questions that you should never ask. Like, for instance, okay, let's see how many women versus how many men. Now let's see how many people that are Jewish are represented in the industry. Maybe it's not enough. Maybe we need more Jews in Hollywood, or maybe there's too many, and we need to See if the other demographics are represented correctly in order to start tinkering with the percentages. See, that's the wrong way of thinking. That is horrible. That's when the ADL gets involved. It's very dangerous to dabble with the percentages. Like, if you want to get into identity politics, you need to understand that there's a heretical nature to the whole science. So, like, not everyone can do it. If you have a person that's not experienced in identity politics and don't know with what percentages you should think and which ones not to, it's very dangerous for him, his friends, his family. They can get fired, they can get ostracized, right? So it's a magic that's best left to the academics, the specialists. But seriously though, if you're a woman, you should get into writing manga. Hollywood is almost dead. Like there are no movies that came out within the last couple of years that I would see myself watching with my son 20 years in the future. Like, everything Hollywood created is absolute shite. And so if you're a woman, what you want to do, if you actually have an idea, if you want to have the inspiration of being a director or something, and there are a lot of women that are artists there, but like Variety would never promote them for some reason. I don't know why. Like, they represent women, but they don't want to promote independent filmmakers. Funny how that works. But you can actually crowdfund for a comic, right? So like, if you're a woman and you know how to draw, or you have like some interesting ideas for a story, what you want to do is you want to promote that to the public, start a social media account, get in touch with some content creators, show them your work, and then see if they can promote it. And with the crowdfunding, you can actually start your independent stuff. You can be the next J.K. Rowling. There are so many women in Japan, in South Korea, and in other places that actually create entertainment that is popular worldwide, and most people probably don't even know that it's a woman behind all of it. In fact, I remember seeing social justice activists like woketards on Twitter shaming various comic books and mangas for being hypersexualized and demeaning women, and then they find out that a woman was the one that drew it. It's really interesting to see how their brain is explode. It's like they just can't compute. But yeah, no, like, regarding Hollywood, I don't give a fuck. Like, at this point, this shit right here, this is not art, this is not entertainment, this is like manufacturing a product. And you're now trying to see if, like, the correct ingredients are being applied, like how much percentage of this and that, and it's almost like on an assembly line, and the shit keeps getting churned. This is not art. Like, no person ever asks, the book that I'm reading, who is the author? What is their ethnicity, their family tree, how many percentages of American blood they have in it, what is the blood and sweat. No one asks that. Okay, no one gives a fuck about it. People care, is it entertaining or isn't it? And this whole statement as well, is anything keeping women from becoming directors in Hollywood? Like, is there a ceiling? What is the correct number? Like how many female directors do you have in China? How many female directors do you have in Bollywood? How does America rank compared to the other nations in the world? Do women want to become directors? That's another question. I don't want to become a director, right? I'm not that ambitious. Do women want to do it? I don't know, but like, it seems that culturally speaking, they must. Like, it is imperative. You have to want to do it. Like, how can you not want to be a Hollywood director? What the fuck is wrong with you? Everyone wants to be a Hollywood director, right? Who wants to raise a family? Who wants to stay home? That's bigoted. That's the old era. That's the old biology textbooks lying about how humans reproduce. Humans do not reproduce by staying at home and having kids. No one likes that. No one wants to stay with kids. It's horrible, right? The way you reproduce is you vote for the Democrats, and once the Democrats are in charge, they open the borders, and then people come in, and that's how humans reproduce. Anyway, right. This was a funny article where Hollywood lacks of progress. It's interesting how ever since progress was achieved, Hollywood went down the shitter. Like, most of the movies that people know about, most of the stuff that works, seems to be antithetical to progress. Right? But what do I know? I'm legitimately, at this point, I just stopped caring about American entertainment. Until they get their shit together, until they actually make something good, I've no interest. I'm going to start turning to the South Koreans. Unfortunately, Mao Zedong is there. There are a couple of Russians with a bottle of vodka that made a video game. That's the entertainment now. Meanwhile, this is the conversation that's happening in America. Like, not why is it that people are not watching our movies anymore, but it's like, how many women do we have? It's not progressive enough. Well, okay, if this is the hill you want to die on, well, that's the hill you'll die, but at least you'll be progressive. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.